Jamal, Niaz here for Seconds Out at the Warrington Lopez presser. Delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn. And what an event you've got in store on Saturday. I'm, for one, am delighted that you're going to be screening the England game, because that's going to be a sight to behold. I know you're going to be wearing your England shirt. First of all, just that's fallen together perfectly, hasn't it, from an event perspective?
I mean, look, for a night out and you know, for enjoyment for the ticket holder, of course, but you know, we knew this had a possibility of happening if England went through. There's also a possibility England could play at 3 o'clock, which would have worked quite nicely, but it turns out into an unbelievable night. I mean, if you've got a ticket, you're 2 p.m. till 7 p.m, you know, for the undercard, then you're England-France live on the big screens, and then you're into Felix Cash, Ebony Bridges, and then Josh Warrington. It's a great card, great night of action, and we can't wait.
It is a tough fight for Josh Warrington. Lopez is no walkover, and the difficulty which you've discussed before is, with a fighter that isn't well known to British audiences, it's sort of seen as a guaranteed win by the casual fans. Yeah. So if Warrington's in any sort of trouble, even loses the fight, then everyone's going to be saying, what's happened to Josh Warrington? The same way that with our fight.
I mean, because of the sort of name of Kiko Martinez, that fight's bigger than the Luis Alberto Lopez fight. But anyone in boxing, I mean, you speak to the American fans or hardcore fight fans, top rank, who represent him, like, this is a much tougher fight than Kiko Martinez, with all due respect to our Spanish friend. This is an elite featherweight in Luis Alberto Lopez. I feel for Josh, because if he beats him, he might not get the credit, and you know, if he loses, like you say, they don't realise this is a brilliant matchup. So very tough fight, but just got to come through it. Hopefully we can deliver the Leewood unification or a big fight in America, but hopefully the final hurdle, and he can be victorious in front of a huge crowd on Saturday.
There's Conlon as well. You know, that in Belfast with the Leeds and Irish fans would be absolutely incredible as well.
I mean, look, we love Michael Conlon, and we'd love to work with him again, but Conlon's not in the mix for Josh Warrington. You know, Josh Warrington is big fights in the States or unification fights. Hopefully both, but he's paid his due, Josh Warrington. He deserves that now.
And just a quick run through the co-main event as well. We thought it would heat up a bit more today, but they were both quite respectful of each other.
You know, I tried. Yeah, the head-to-head was good. You'll see that on our socials. And, you know, this is a great fight, great rivalry. It's going to be a war. You know, both fighters just come forward. They don't take a step backwards. There's been a lot said, a lot on the line, and Ebony Bridges will have a lot of support in the arena on Saturday, and it'll be wild, that fight.
As we know, you're very thick-skinned. You get a lot of abuse online. It's widely known. You know, Javonta Davis has gone absolutely in on you. Where has that come from? Andy deleted the tweets.
He always deletes his tweets. We had, you know, very nice conversation. He asked us to make him an offer, which we did, which he decided to post, you know, everywhere.
Is that an unethical thing to do from his perspective, by the way?
I think Javonta Davis and ethics don't mix too well, but yeah, you're not really supposed to publish a private and confidential offer, but you know, what can you do? And I don't know why I got brought into the, you know, Ryan Garcia was wearing a t-shirt and Javonta Davis said he's on PEDs. Well, if you're that concerned, put it in the contract. I don't know if Javonta Davis fights have had VADA testing in the past, but surely they should be at that level. So I don't understand how I got brought into it, but anyway, I always do. And you know, the offer was the offer, 10 million minimum, with upside, plenty of it, and thought it was a good offer. Eric Gomez was aware of that. You know, I told him we'd be doing that, and you know, Matchroom obviously funding that bid.
The Conor Benn thing always gets tied back into it. That was a comment that Javonta Davis made, and I know some time has passed since that whole thing happened, but I just want to know from your perspective, you know, you were the first one to go out and try and address the media, trying to give your side of the story before anything was written about you. From your perspective, mentally, how has that experience been for yourself?
Now, it was horrendous when it happened. You know, it's very difficult when you love a sport like we love boxing and your integrity gets questioned, and I feel like we were fucked on that, to be honest with you. The British Boxing Board of Control knew exactly the same time as us, and we lent on them for their decision. They had to get all the information. It wasn't an easy decision, but they took 3 or 4 weeks to make a decision, and ultimately when the decision came out, which was 3 days before the fight, we got the blame. Now, we can't cancel the fight contractually. The board can, or Chris Eubank and Wasserman can. So we let the board make the decision, and they don't really get any criticism for it. Only we do. So it was difficult, but you know, every day becomes easier. It still rears its head every now and again, but we know that, of course, mistakes were made, because you learn from those mistakes, and you know, you have to address a very difficult situation. I'm looking forward to the appeal to be over with, you know, and this case to be heard, so we can move on, and I think people will be surprised with the outcome, and you know, Conor Benn can resume his career.
Appreciate that, Eddie. We're getting the wrap.
So.